recording as well. Okay, so this is the project management session here, and we're talking today about project management. We will cover the projects, what are projects, or what is a project, and we will cover some concepts, and we will introduce the framework of project management, and then we'll talk about some of the project management profession itself, about project managers and the study of this discipline. I just want to recall that earlier we had another presentation, which is also an introduction for project management, and there we also shed the light on some of the statistics, how much the world is spending on projects, and what are the problems in projects, some figures about the failure of projects, and also some of the salaries or average salaries around the world and the GCC. So today I will just repeat some of these things, but about the project management and project concepts, and we'll continue. So what is a project? Now, you can see here that we have here 3 different definitions of a project. So from the first one, you can see that it is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. The second is a project is a series of tasks that need to be completed in order to reach a specific outcome. And the third definition is also defining project as a set of inputs and outputs required to achieve a particular goal. Now, all of these are definitions of a project, and you can see that from these projects we can find, or we can learn some of the attributes of a project, and one of them is the temporariness of it. So a project is a temporary endeavor, so it has a starting and ending date, so it's not a continuous running project, and it is undertaking something unique. So uniqueness also is part of the definition. So it is a unique process of doing something, and also the outcome will also be a unique, either it's a product, service, or any other kind of outcome. In the project, while you are undertaking this unique process, there are series of tasks. So there are multiple tasks that you're going to do, and these tasks will reach to an outcome, okay, a specific outcome. And also the third definition will also talk about the same thing, but it talks about a process of having some inputs going into these series of tasks and having an output after processing or undertaking these processes. So you can see that these 3 definitions cover the project, but from different perspectives. Now, the third definition, which is the last definition, it is coinciding with the system view, which is more used in our discipline, in the IT discipline, because we use with systems, and we do the same thing. We deal with computers or systems as a processing power and capacity, and we have inputs that goes into these systems or computer devices, and then it will be processed, and then we will get an outcome. So this is similar, related to our discipline, but overall all are same. So the attributes now that we learned now is that it is unique, the project is unique, temporary, develops progressively. So it starts with certain tasks, and then at the end you end up with the completed outcome. You need resources, because to do this kind of process of anything, producing product, rendering a service, you need some resources. This is what, if you look at the input attribute that we talked about in the third definition. So you need some resources as an input so that you can do the work, and the resources can be many, can be human resource, can be monetary resource, can be maybe some other kind of equipments and infrastructure. All these can be considered as resources. Should have a primary customer or sponsor. Someone has to own this project and has to sponsor it. And it involves uncertainty. The uncertainty is high in projects, or usually all projects have uncertainty, but it differs from one to another. Usually the IT projects are complex and uncertain, especially when you are developing a software in something that's new, innovative. You don't really expect what is it that's going to happen at the end. What is the end outcome? How the screens will look like? How the system will behave, and all these things to be difficult if the system is a complex and innovative one. So it means that no one did it earlier. You don't have something to look at and try to mimic or to copy. And here, from all of these, we now understand that projects are temporary, unique, and they are closed after attaining their objectives, while normally in organizations, operations are ongoing and repetitive. You do the same thing and it continues all the time. And the aim of operations is to sustain the business, while the project is you are seeking to achieve certain objectives and then you are done. But here your objective is to keep this business sustained and running for life. Okay, now three main concepts that we also covered were cost, time, and scope, and these are the what we call them the triple constraint. And cost is all the financial constraints that are related to the project. We can also call it a budget or a cost, and basically it is things related to how much this will cost us to perform this project, how much it will cost us, how we're going to fund this project, preparing schedule of payments for this project. All these are related to the cost. The second is the scope, and this is the task that's required to be fulfilled in this project. And these are the tasks that you are going to do, and what are the process or the tasks that are performed to achieve the outcome of this project. Okay, and third will be the time, and it is the schedule of the project. So it's how long we require to complete this project. Now, we need to have a balance of all these three constraints so that we can be a successful project. And this is not the only thing. You need also to satisfy the project's sponsor. We'll talk about this later in the success. So these three constraints, they overlap. When you work, you need to manage all of them together. So what happens is that you need to balance them, and in terms of cost, the cheaper that you spend, the less that you spend on the project is the best or the better. Okay, and in general, time, the fastest you are, okay, the faster you provide the project to the customers, the better. And the scope, if it's good scope, means good here means if you provide the correct or the right features and requirements, then that's it. If you provide less, then that's not something good. And if you also provide something more, maybe it's good, but usually in projects we don't do anything except what we agreed upon. So you're not providing some extra unless requested, because the extra that you're going to provide will take from the time. Okay, it is better to finish on time better than doing some more extra things. And also in terms of the cost, if you do extra scope and you cover more things, than required, then this means that you're going to spend more money. So you're wasting our money. So it's better to not to do it. And for this, if you recall, we introduced something called the priority matrix. Okay. Now, the priority matrix is used to look at the trade-offs, where I can do things less or more. Okay. So, and I gave examples earlier about this, and I'll go through this very quickly. Now, here, if you can see these three dots here, it shows the priority for this project in terms of change to these constraints. So, if the time here, if you can see, time is in the change is accepted. Now, that means that if there is an unfavorable change, and an unfavorable change means that it is opposite to this here. The cost should be, the favorable is to be cheaper, right? So less. So here, the unfavorable change in this column, the accept column, you are accepting an unfavorable change. Okay. So here, what does it mean? It means that if you are going to change in time, okay, unfavorable change means that you are going to extend the time, you need more time, then this is okay, accepted. We accept, but there's a certain limit. You cannot, for a 1 year project, you cannot extend it to 3 years. Maybe you need 1, 2, 3 months extra, that's fine. So if the dot is here, this means that, okay, we accept, we can give you the extension if you need it. Now, think of this as an assessment that you do before the project starts, okay? This is before the project starts. Okay? Then if you come to the cost, the change to the cost is constrained, means that you cannot change in the cost. So I gave you 10,000, then you have to stick to this 10,000, okay? Not less, not more. If it is more, then you are talking about this area, accept. If it is less, means that it is better, and you're going to reduce the cost. This is an enhancement, so it will become here. But according to this dot here, it means that I don't want any savings, and I don't want you to exceed what I gave you. Okay, so you follow this. Then when it comes to the scope, you can see that it's on the enhance area here. So this means, sorry. So this means that you can do the scope that we agreed upon, but you can also add more features if you can, and if you can provide me with more scope, more coverage of the for example, the system that you're developing has features, and you want to cover more features. Okay, you want to introduce more features and covering more of the processes of the organization or of the business. So then it is fine, because it is the change. If it is enhancing the scope, then yeah, we will accept it. But you have to keep in mind that this change, the enhancement that you're going to do, and the scope will be more. If you go back to the example I said earlier, an application that has 10 features, you can provide 12 features, okay? But providing these 2 extra features should not increase the cost, okay? And also the time, but if it will increase the time a little bit, maybe it will be accepted. But any change, now I'm saying this here, there are changes in time, cost, scope, but any change has to go through a procedure. It's not just changing like this. You need to request the change, and it has to be approved, okay? But this, from the beginning, you need to know. So you cannot request change in the cost. Halas, it is constrained. In the scope, you can request a change. If it is enhancing from 10 features to 12 features, fine, but you should show that it will not increase the cost. And if it will change the time, you have to specify how long time will need more, and then it has to be reviewed, and then it will be accepted or rejected. If it's rejected, then you don't do these changes. Okay. This is another example. Just when you change the example, you might know the meaning of this table. So here now, according to this project, the time constraint is the time is restricted, constrained. So no change in time. Yani the project has to finish in 2 months. خلاص, you have to do it in 2 months. Okay. In terms of the cost is accepted. The change is accepted. Yani if you need extra money, okay, we can give you extra money, okay, if needed. And the scope will also be constrained, means that we don't want to have more features or less features. Let me give you another example, or the same example, but I'll give you an example, real example. Imagine that you are a bank, okay, and the CBB, the Central Bank of Bahrain, requested all the banks in Bahrain within 2 months only to provide a system, to develop a system and connect it to the system that the CBB has, okay, with a very specific features, so that the bank, the central bank, can monitor the banking transfers. Okay, so here, this is a real example. The time, it is decided by the CBB. So as a bank, I have no control on this. I cannot extend. If I extend the time, if I don't finish within 2 months and submit this system to the bank, then I will be punished from the central bank. They might suspend my license. They might give me some kind of warning. So the time is constrained. There is no change in time. So the bank will tell the project manager, you don't have the option to change. Okay, and it's not, even if it's enhanced. Yani, don't finish the system before the 2 months. And the CBB are not ready. They are ready after 2 months to connect our system with their system. So stick to the time. In terms of the cost, now let's say that we decided to put 20,000 dinars for this project. Okay, but if the project will require more than that, you started working and you said you need more than that, you cannot say, well, I know, because the bank, the central bank, is forcing the system. You have to do it. How much it will cost, still need to pay. So for you as a bank, you will pay, whether if it's 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, you have to pay. So you inform the project manager that if you need more money, okay, for this project, it will be okay, fine, it's accepted. In terms of the scope, you cannot add any features. So to enhance, you don't have the flexibility to add features, and you don't put less features than requested by the CBB. So you have to be also, you stick to the scope that was decided. So this is constrained. Okay, so this is the other example for this. And this is like for you, you can do this activity. We did already earlier, but you can also try working with this. Okay, now new concepts introduced last time, and I will go through them quickly. We have the project management, and we have program, we have the program manager, we have portfolio management, and we have the project management office. Now, the project management, as we said, it is the process of managing the project. So it's not the project. So defining the project is already done. We already defined it. But now the project management is actually the process, or the way that you apply all the knowledge, skills, and tools to perform the activities of the project and to achieve the goals or requirements. Okay, so this is the project management. A program, if you can see here, a program is a set of projects, like here, three projects that are under one program. And these 3 projects, if they work together, then they will be, they are related to each other. So they will be managed under one program manager. So you create a program and you put this as the program manager. He will coordinate with all these, with these 3 projects, and each of these projects will have a project manager to manage. Okay. So a program is a group of related projects managed in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individually. If you manage them individually, like these projects, these are individual projects. If this project finished before this, then you have a problem. Or if this project fails and this project succeeds, again, you have a problem. You need both to finish these, and so on. I'll give you an example, a real example. Now, imagine that you are the Ministry of, or you have a program. Say that you are the government, and you have a program of improving the Bahraini roads. Now, Bahrain roads are, there are many, or say different agencies or ministries that they are involved in developing and maintaining this infrastructure, the roads. Okay, so what we want here is that we want to start as a government. We want to start a program to improve the roads. So what I do, and I'll just take 3 examples. First, we need a project for laying all the electrical and the infrastructure of the roads, the electricity required, the pumping and line, these sewage, and all the pipes and all these things. There is a project for the infrastructure. It will be given to a project manager. Okay, and then paving the streets, okay, and the curbs and arsafa and all these pavements. This will be done with another project, another contractor. So this is another project. Okay, and the traffic lights fitting and painting the roads and doing the putting the cameras, speed cameras and traffic light cameras, traffic lights and the signs of the speed and the terms and all these things. This is also another project the Department of Traffic will accomplish. So now these 3 projects cannot work separately. You need a program manager so that he will coordinate between these. So first, we need to ensure that all the infrastructure is laid on the areas of which will be the roads. Then we need to also make sure that they are coordinating with the traffic department so that they know where they want the cables to be kept for the cameras, for the traffic lights, okay, so that they will arrange all the piping and all the cables. Okay, then they will also the pavement process will come. So the second project need to wait until this project is done or almost done, and then they start to pave the areas that already got the green light that they can go ahead and pave them. Okay, and then the traffic project will also wait until the pavement is done, so that then they come and they fix their signs and they fix their cameras and fix their traffic lights, okay, and do the marking on the roads. So see, this is should be a coordinated work between all these 3 projects, and you need to have a program manager who manages all these 3 together. Okay, so this is a program. So now we know the difference between a program and a project. The project is only one project. You have one task to accomplish, and you have a project manager. In the program, you have set of programs, projects, and these projects are managed individually by a project manager, and they are under the umbrella of the project manager. Okay, the program manager. Sorry, the program manager. Okay, so he will coordinate between them. Now, if you look at this blue big circle, this is the portfolio. Now, portfolio management is what? It is the basket of all the projects that an organization has. It is a very high level perspective. You look at the whole performance of all the projects that you have, the individual projects, and all the programs that you have, the programs that have certain set of projects under it. So this is the portfolio. And organizations are usually they judge their performance based on the performance of all of these projects. So if you are a project manager in this project, for example, the one here in the middle, okay, if you are the project manager of this project, your your thinking or your focus will be on meeting the three constraints, well, cost, will scope, and time. Okay, but you are not looking at the whole picture of the organization. It's not just meeting this project. This project is just part of the organization. Say like producing a product. You have the marketing projects. You have the maybe some other kind of projects. Bad. Okay, so it's not just you in this universe. There are other projects there, but you are focusing on your work. A project manager will focus on the project that he's working on. But for this whole basket of projects, the portfolio, we need someone who can manage this. Okay, with having he will not concentrate on these small things, the cost and time and scope of each project. No, he will look at the whole performance of these projects. Are they meeting their deadlines? Are they spending according to what they are required? Okay, but as a whole. Okay, and this task can be done by something called the PMO, the Project Management Office. Okay, what they do is that they handle all the portfolio, all the projects, and then they will look at them from a higher level, a strategic level. They look at it as a strategic level for the organization. And part of their work also is to coordinate with those who need coordination, whether it's a project or a program. And also they set some kind of a standard for these projects to follow. It's very good to have standards and templates to follow and guidelines, because this will ensure that they don't miss anything, and they follow the same methodology that the organization is following, and this will increase the rate of their successfulness. Okay, and as we said earlier, the success of all your projects will mean that the success is for the whole enterprise or the organization. Okay, I hope this is clear, because I thought last time that I didn't give better explanation. I think now it's better to understand. Now, looking at the project management and the project portfolio management. Okay, if you are managing a project and if you are managing the whole projects that you have in organizations, we said that in portfolio we are looking at strategy, so strategic goals, a strategic level, while in the project management we look at tactical goals. And you know the difference between strategy and tactical. Tactical is how to, or let's say start from the strategy. Strategy are the plans, the long-term plans that you have in the organization. It's only plans. But the tactical goals are those goals or those tasks that you do in order to convert the strategic goals into an operational goals where you can implement them. Okay, so and here you can see the difference between the perspectives that we are talking about here. So tactical and the project management look at the questions that will concern you all the time. Are we carrying out projects well? So you are looking at your project and is it running well? Okay, are projects on time and on budget? You look at the time of the project, the schedule of the project. Are you on time and are you on budget? You are not spending more than the allotted or assigned budget. Do project stakeholders know what they should be doing? So you are looking at the stakeholders. I mean, we said earlier, stakeholders are not just the owners, but it's also the team, the partners, suppliers, clients, users. Okay, so you look at these details. But if you look at the portfolio management, it is different. See how they look at. They are thinking of, are we working on the right projects? It's not the matter of the projects are running fine or not. do we need these projects actually or not? Do we need to start a project in the first place or not? So their concern is not just about having a project running. It's, do we need this project? Is it required? Is there any kind of a return that you're going to get from this project? Otherwise, we don't have to do it. Okay. Are we investing in the right area? See, again, it's not about are we running the project properly. Is it the right project to go for? Is it, for example, are we do we need to invest in a cloud-based application development or in a home-based development? Okay, so like a desktop home-based developed application. Okay, so you need to see where are you going. Okay, are you investing in the right place? Because now everyone is moving to the cloud. The trend is going to cloud. Do we need to develop a website, or do we need to develop a mobile application for our organization? Okay, so the trend is, which is better for us, not just the trend. So is it better to have a mobile application or to just have a website? So you have, this is the comparison, or this is where you make the decision here. It's not about running that project of developing the website for the organization or the application that you're going to develop. No, it's about which one of these we're going to use, okay, or use in our strategy. Do we have the right resources to be competitive? Again, you are looking at what is your position in the market against your competitors. Are these projects going to give us the competitiveness that we are looking? Do we have the resources to compete in such an area of developing this application, or to exist actually in this area of the internet, or the marketplace, the electronic marketplace? So these are the concerns. Very high strategic level, where in the project management it is more tactical, more to the operations of the projects. Okay. Now to classify projects in this portfolio, there are different ways to classify projects. Some organizations, they classify projects based on departments, like what you see here in this 3D pie chart. These are the HR department projects. These are the marketing projects. These are the materials projects. These are the IT projects. Some other classification can classify projects based on their risk, for example. Okay, so here, for example, they give like an example in another example. So this is the IT projects, and they want to classify the project that's already classified. Anyway, this is just an example. So in terms of the risk, you can classify the projects based on the risk. We have low risk projects, we have medium risk projects, we have high risk projects. So this is one way of classifying projects. Or you can classify projects by their type, okay, in terms of their contribution to the business. For example, here we have the core, we have growth, and we have venture projects. So the core projects, those are the projects that are required to run the business. And if you don't have these systems or applications, then your business will not even exist. So you need to do these projects, so they are core projects. Okay. Other projects can be, they are important, but they are not more very important like the core projects. Good for the organization because they will increase our market share. Okay, so it will grow the business. So growing the business is another category that if we don't do it now, it's okay, fine, and we can do it later. But the core projects, these we need to do them now because the business existence is based on it. And we have the venture projects. These types of projects are very innovative projects, and they will transform the way that you are doing business. Now we have showrooms, we sell our products in showroom. We will have a project of moving all our products online, so we don't have any more showrooms. We sell online, so our sales districts and channels will all be replaced by a website or a marketplace or something like this. So this is a change in the way that our business is running, okay? And this طبعا will affect the organization, and this will be something you have to be very careful in deciding this. طبعا in terms of the risk, again, you can combine both. If you go for the core systems, usually their risk is low because they are normal, like email systems, installing email systems, server and clients, say an accounting system, okay, the HR application, okay, these are all core and important. ERP system, these are the risk to fail is very low because it is not something that it's new to the IT department to do. There are many applications installed earlier and they have experience in these, okay? But when you go to growing, you are increasing the number of users, increasing the number of applications and the number of integrations that you're doing. Here, the risk will go a little high. But if you're going for a venture type of projects, then your risk will be very high because you are changing everything, the way the business is done, okay? Instead of selling items in shops, you are going to reduce these or eliminate these, and you are going to sell online, okay? So now we don't have salespersons. You have to ensure that this application is integrated well with the warehouse and with the distribution channels, and many things are there. So transforming the business, changing the way the business is running, take you to much risks than the rest, okay? And also you can make it more complex, that you can also look at the value of these projects, okay? The core business or the core projects will not add much value like the ones in the venture. They have a high risk, but definitely their value will be high. The reward that they will provide you is high, and like this. And if you look at also the costs related to these projects, the core is usually non-discretionary cost, means that it is something that you don't have an option. It's non-discretionary. You have to spend on these, okay? While the growth and venture, these are discretionary costs, means that you have the option. You can delay them, or you can just ignore them. You can just cancel them. You don't want to do them. It's fine. But it might not harm. It won't harm the organization, but it might reduce your growth, okay? It will limit your growth. It will limit your market share, like this, okay? But it is discretionary. It's optional for you. This is a sample of how a system of managing the portfolio. You can see here that you have several projects listed here, okay? And it shows the completion and shows their monitoring the variances, the difference between the plan and actual work, okay? And it will give you some percentages here and some figures. And these are if you look at them, it's not color, but this is red, okay? It's like stop sign. This is here the yellow triangle. These are green ticks. So from these, it's like gauges. This is a dashboard, and it's like gauges that shows you how things are running in the project. So you can monitor the health of the project from here, okay? Now, a very important key player here in any project is the project manager, okay? And if you just look at this picture here, this guy who has, how many hands you have? 6 hands, okay? Well, basically, this is your role if you're a project manager. You need to do many things, to communicate with many parties, to do lots of things. So this is your role or your task as a project manager. Okay, you have three main things. You need to have good planning, good scheduling, and good coordinating. If you do these three well, then you will be a good project manager. Okay. Now, for project management, or managers need to have certain skills. You are dealing with people, so you need to have skills of managing people, leadership skills. You need to lead. Okay. Listening, you need to be a good listener for your team and for the stakeholders, for the environment. You need to listen, so that, especially from your team, if your team is talking to you, is sending you messages that there are some problems in developing or in operations or something, and you don't listen to them, then these problems might increase, and then it will affect the project, and it might cause failure to the project. Okay, طبعا integrity, ethical behavior, consistency. You need to be consistent in dealing with everyone. Okay, you need to be just in the relationship between the team. You need to be honest, ethical when dealing with others. Okay, so this is very important, because there you will lose trust if you don't have these. This is then the second point, which is you need to build the trust, and building it is through these things: integrity and ethical consistency of dealing with others. Verbal communication, you need to have good communication skills, strong at building teams. You need to know how to build a team. Choosing who's going to be part of your team is very important. Sometimes you need to have those who are very innovative. Sometimes you need someone who's very optimistic. And other times you need someone, in some projects you need some pessimistic, you need some negative criticism in your project. So you need to know who to keep in your team. You need to know how to resolve any problems that has occurred in the project. Okay, and how to manage these conflicts, whether it's you with the team, you with the top management, or maybe the team themselves, they have problems. Okay, you need to manage their conflicts. طبعا critical thinking and problem solving, you need to have these skills because you need to think critically in all of the tasks that you are going to do, and you have to solve all the problems that you face or your team members face. And you need to understand things and balance the priorities. Okay, you need to know which is the task that you need to concentrate on. Where are the trade-offs? Where can you do the trade-offs? And the priority matrix that we explained earlier is a good mean for this. Here, just examples of, based on the type of project, you will need certain skills from these. Okay, so this is just an example here. You can look at these. So for example, large projects, you are dealing with many people, then you need leading skills. You need to be a leader. Okay, and usually large projects are complex, so you need to have experience in such a field or projects. Okay, and you need to plan well, not like the very novel projects. Very novel projects, you need leadership, and you need people skills. You need to have vision, to let your team follow you. Okay, to motivate your team to work. So this is more in these projects. In very high uncertainty projects, risk management is very important. You need to know how to manage risk. Okay, so it depends on the type of project. Now, to not have a framework or standard to follow is something not good for project managers, because although you have good skills, you have good experience, but again, you are a human being. You might forget something, might do something less, or you give it less concentration than the rest. Therefore, it's better to follow a best practice, something that someone used earlier, tried it earlier, and it was يعني tested before. So that's why organizations follow standards or frameworks, okay, يعني developed by some certain professional bodies or professional people. And some organizations, they develop their own standard or methodology to follow for all their projects, which is يعني similar to the project management office that we talked about earlier. Okay, so now this framework, let us go to the project management framework. Now, a framework, as you can see in this picture, is just the skeleton of the process of project management. So it will not give you precisely what you have to do, but it will give you the knowledge or the necessary knowledge to have your skeleton, and then you can build whatever you want on it. So your project will be like, it's like the skeleton here on this photo. You need to have all of these columns and beams and all these things, which are the knowledge areas that we talked about earlier, the 10 knowledge areas. And then covering them with the roof and the walls. These are something that you can, depends on your your project, you can enhance and modify, and also using the tools and techniques. So the stakeholders, this is the first knowledge area. We covered this part earlier. So stakeholders are all those people who are involved in the project, and we have here a list of them. The sponsor, the manager, the team is also part of your stakeholders. The supporting staff from other departments, purchasing, accounting, HR, all these departments, they will help your project as well. So they will support it, and you need to also to deal with them and manage them. Customers, users, suppliers for buying equipment or buying something, some license or some equipment. So you are dealing with suppliers, so you need to properly manage them, to ensure that you receive everything on time with the specified budget and all these. And also opponents of the project. We said that it's not, doesn't mean that an enemy to your project is an enemy, so you don't deal with them. No, you deal with your project enemies, opponents, because if you don't manage them properly, they might fail your project. Okay. Then the rest areas, the 9 areas. Now, I mentioned this earlier. There are 10 areas, not 9, because we include the stakeholder as an area in that. Okay. And we have here 4 core knowledge areas: scope, time, cost, and quality. And the rest here are the facilitating function or the supporting functions or knowledge areas. And then we have here in the middle the integration management, which will integrate all of these. And then we have the tools that you are going to use, and these are assisting tools that will help you to do your work. And here some examples for tools and techniques used for managing the scope, here to manage the time, and these to manage the cost. Okay, we'll go through these knowledge areas in details later on. That's why I'm just going through them quickly, because we will cover them later, and we will go through them and through the tools that you can use and techniques in each of these. Okay, but as I mentioned earlier, that we're not going to cover all the knowledge areas due to the time limit that we have in this course. We'll cover the first 4 here, the core knowledge areas, and the risk management part of it بعد يعني. Okay, with the integration طبعا. And the rest, we're not ignoring them because they are not important, but because we don't have time, and these are less يعني complex, so you can even يعني understand them even if you just study them by your own. Tools are like this. For example, this is a Microsoft project. Okay, and you can see here that you can use the system or the software to enter all the tasks that you're going to do, and then you specify their dates and the resources, and then it will show you something called the Gantt chart. This is the Gantt chart, where you can see the progress of each of these tasks and when it is going to happen, okay? And the dependencies. This is another example of something called this network diagram, okay? We will have this when we reach to the time knowledge area. This is basically showing, it's like what we call a diagram that shows all the tasks um, in a kind of like a network where they are connected with arrows, and this will be طبعا explained later, how to draw it and how to do some kind of calculations to get some information like the critical path and the how to introduce buffer to them. Okay, we'll cover this inshallah in the time management, project time management. Okay, and then we have the success, طبعا project success. You need يعني to understand success, it could be or it means that you are meeting scope, time, and cost, but also you need to satisfy your customers or your sponsors. And at the same time, you need to meet the main objective of having this project. It's not just meeting the 3 constraints, but also you need to meet the objective why we started this project. For example, you make some savings or you improve the investment returns and something like this. Okay. Another thing is to mention here is the project succeed or project success factors. What factors that might help to succeed in a project? The user involvement. You need to involve all the people who are going to use your system. If you are developing a computer system, you need to keep the users involved because they are the end users. They are going to use the system, so they need to give you their feedback about the screens, about the way that you are generating this, because you are good in designing. Okay, fine. What about if you are doing this system for the accounting department? You don't have this complete exposure of the accounting cycles and the details of this. So if you develop the system, maybe in terms of the interface is fine, but maybe in terms of the sequence of doing these tasks is not appropriate or not correct, or the calculations are not done in this way, it is different. So you need the users, the accountants who are going to use the system to help you in this. Okay, then you have the executive support. Now, in any project, is it if it is an IT project or a finance project or HR project, if there are no executives supporting this project, it will not succeed. It will fail. So the top management support is very important for projects. You need to seek this. It will make things very, very, very easy for you while running your project and obtaining your funding and resources and all these things. Also, if your objectives are not clear, then there is a chance that you fail. Emotional maturity. Emotional maturity here means you need to be this mature, or you have this experience that tells you that even if in certain periods you are desperate and you feel that the project is going to fail, if you continue working, you might not fail and you will finish, or you are going to complete the project. So in certain stages in the project, sometimes you feel that you're going to lose, or the problem is unsolvable. But if you have an emotional maturity, and if you are mature knowledge fire, you will know that for every problem there's a solution, and that if you just wait for a while and do some kind of modifications here and there, then you will solve the problem. A very nice example I heard earlier about the UK in the World War, the Second World War. when UK were in the war against Germany, Hitler was invading Europe. They asked him, they asked Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of UK, what to do, or shall we stop? يعني we are losing خلاص يعني he took France, I think, and most of the يعني countries near UK. So he was asked to shall we just يعني surrender and not to fight? But he said we will fight until something happens, because he knows from experience that something will happen or something could happen. Maybe he will be يعني he's going to trigger something or try something, or something will happen just like this. So he said we will continue fighting until something happens. Okay. So this could be very, and it's very vague, and it could be something happen, they lose or they win, or something happens. And really what happened is that the US intervened, and it really changed things in the war, and UK didn't lose the war. So this is يعني about experience, about mature thinking, and you can think of it like this. Optimizing scope. Also, you need to optimize the scope. Don't let we call these the scope creeps. Don't go do some other things that are not required from you. Your scope is to do this application. Don't go and do some other things. Okay, it's not your business. The agile processes, very important. It's not just doing things, but you have a certain process that guide you to complete the task. So these processes has to be agile, means that it is flexible enough to be changed to improve the way that you are working in the process. Also, you have the project management expertise. طبعا, if you have experts, this will help you in succeeding in project. Resources, skilled resources, يعني your team. You need to have good team. If your team is weak, although you have good resources, يعني technical resources, you have the best processes, you have the clear objectives, support from the top management. But if you don't have skilled people, good programmers, for example, then the project could fail also. Okay. طبعا the execution is very important. You can have the best plan of project you have with the best budget given to you, but if you don't execute it properly according to what you plan, again the project could not be successful. So in execution, you need to ensure that you follow the plan, you execute following the plan, achieving the goals. And last but not least, tools and infrastructure. To have good project and successful project, you need to use the right tool, and you need to have the best, or the suitable infrastructure. For example, imagine that you want to have maybe this is something that you also experienced, and now when you are teaching here in e-learning, imagine that you don't, okay, and you want to do business, okay, or you want to develop your website selling your products or providing your services on this website, a complete service on this website, and your infrastructure is weak. You have slow internet, you have old servers. So even if you have good ideas and good business practice in selling products, your infrastructure can't help you. You will have lots of downtimes, timeout of requests, and then your customers will be very frustrated, and this will be affecting your طبعا project. So it will be lost. So it's a failure. Okay, so these are related to the success. Now, the last part here, which is the project management profession. Now, this profession, project management profession, which I was trying to convince you or to motivate you to become one of these by telling you how much the organizer or the world is spending on projects and how much the salaries are paid for project managers. You need to be a good professional in this field in order to gain these salaries. So here in this course, we are following the American school, which is set by the Project Management Institute. Okay, and the Project Management Institute is an old society in this field. It was funded in 1969, and it has thousands of experienced project managers from different fields, okay, from engineering, financial services, healthcare, IT, many, okay. And those people, they work on something called the PM book, the Project Management Knowledge body, body of knowledge, PM, Project Management book, BOK, body of knowledge, okay. So this is the BOK or the PM book. Was developed by them, and after doing lots of research and lots of experience exchange, and they come up with these, and they have a certification program that you can certify and you can sit for an exam, and if you pass, then you get the certificate that you have passed this. But you need about certain number of hours of experience, and you have also the chance as students, you can join for free, and you can see what resources they have. Their website is www.pmi.org. Okay. Now the PMP certification, it provides you with kind of like a prestigious and endorsement from this institute that you are a professional project manager. You can go to their website, and you can have more details about what it has and what do they cover. But basically, they want to ensure that you have good experience in projects, that you know about the codes and ethics of project management profession. These are ethics related to project management. You need to have ethics in this term, that you need to know what is wrong and what is right. Okay, so when you undertake a project, you need to know where are the right things and where are the wrong things. You need to start the right projects. You don't go into a project that it will harm people, or it will harm environment, or it will harm any creature, living creature. Okay, so knowing which is right and which is wrong is important. And you will always face these dilemmas, the ethical dilemmas. It's the situation where you need to make the decision, the right decision. You don't harm people, you don't harm environment, and you don't have things very clear all the time, so things become difficult to manage in certain times. Then in the PMP exam also they have these questions about ethics, and we will also have in the exam, in the midterm or in the final exam, you will also have some questions related to ethics. Some kind of situation, and you will see how you deal with this situation ethically. So this is all for today. I covered what I covered earlier in the first lecture, but I tried to present it better and give more examples better than previous lecture. And also we completed this. So this is done. Next week, inshallah, we will start another chapter. Okay. So I will keep this in the record also. It will be recorded, so you can refer back to it later.